Hello, BookTube. I was tagged today by Steve Donahue to do the Sisterhood of the World book tag 2017 edition. And it's a nice little bit of a break. I would like to thank everybody who's kindly sent me comments and about I have a lot of family in Fort Myers and Naples, and right now they're going through a lot. And some of you have let me know about your own family members, and we have kept them in our thoughts. And it is ongoing, but it's a nice time for a bit of a break to do a book tag. And I very much appreciate Steve's comments about the day we're having here in New England as compared to what they're having in the Southeast. So much appreciated. So the first question is, what was a required reading book from elementary or high school that you thought you'd hate but ended up liking? And that was Macbeth by Shakespeare. No interest in Shakespeare at the time. I was probably about 12, I think. And as is so often the case, it was because of an incredibly wonderful teacher. And he combined the reading of the play with the movie of the play. We called it movies then. And it was reel to reel. I had to run the camera one day, so that was fun. And I think the scene that caught me and that he was able to have it do for all of us was the three witches in the beginning when the play opens. So it was, and it got better. So it was fantastic, and it's because of the teacher. And teachers make such a huge difference. I remember 3 or 4 in my lifetime that pushed me in a direction that I appreciate. Number 2 is, did your classes do book presentations? And if so, did they interest you? This is going to sound horrible. I have no idea. I would think that they had to have. How do you not do book presentations? I can't remember any. I would hope they would interest me, but obviously, if we did them, they went away. And if we didn't do them, well, maybe. We had to have done them. I would hope I was interested in them. I just don't remember. Don't forget, elementary school for me was the 1960s. High school was the 1970s. I wonder what else I've forgotten. Number 3. What is your favorite book of those you have read so far this year? That one, I'm not sure I can answer that. I like the Lois McMaster Bujold Miles Verkosigan book I read. Absolutely loved the first of the Fritz Leiber. Oddly enough, I'm so out of order in that series. So what was that? That was Swords and Deviltry. That would have to be up there. Yeah, that was. I don't know. I've read so many that are wonderful, and they're each wonderful in their own way. But let's go with Fritz Leiber, Swords and Deviltry. Do you prefer a series or a standalone? I like both. Of my favorite, top 10 novels, I would think they're probably all standalones. Of all time. And yet, I love a good series. I like being able to come back. Say Brother Cadfael, Peters or Amelia Peabody stories, or Isaac Bell with Clive Cussler, or the Sackett stories with Louis L'Amour. I love it if the volume can stand on its own. I don't mind occasionally if you're into a series where it does help to know the previous books. That's okay, if that's the way the author designed it. But I much prefer it and I've come into many book series at the wrong time, or just confused and didn't realize it was at the wrong time, or didn't know the background of the book, picked it up, started reading it. And if it can stand on its own, I find that to be a wonderful thing. It's just doing a thing, or watching Ernest Lee Eston talk about on his BookTube channel the Foundation series, and once he started talking, I all of a sudden realized I probably read that series out of order, or the books were added as prequels and sequels at later dates and would have thrown my timing off. So I would have to lean towards standalones, I think. Do you prefer character or plot-driven books? There's another one that's a little... I prefer both, and that's a terrible answer. If I was... I want a character I can care about. But I've read books that were heavily plot-driven that are just so exciting that I loved them. And I think I'm probably more likely to like them than I do ones that are just characters, no plot. I love stories. And if I'm waddling around in some dude's psyche, I'm not always going to care. You know, it's just the way I am. I think I would come down on the side of plot. I want a story. I want something to happen. I don't want it to happen to a character I don't care about, but I would come down on the side of plot. I want a story. I want a structure. I want to know that things are going to happen. That this is an event. So that's my way of looking at things. What is your favorite place to read? Now, up until about a year ago, I would have said in bed. I got a nice lamp, big fat pillows, propped up. But I've noticed, I don't know if this is an age thing or what it is, but I've noticed, throat clearing there. I just am having a hard time reading there now. I fall asleep. So this chair would probably be my favorite place to read right now. I don't fall asleep here, now that I've said that I will. But what are the last 5 BookTube videos you've watched? Well, I watched Ernest Lee Eston Being Stoic, a series he does on his discussions of Epictetus and all that, and I really enjoy it. I like all his videos, but that series I enjoy. Then Run Right Reads, a closer book, short book reviews. I've always really enjoyed her. I've been watching her for quite a while now. They seem to be very intelligent reviews, succinct. The Memento Mori, he's the one who started Decamerama. I find him incredibly funny. But smart. Funny and smart a lot of times do go together, and he's a classic case of that. Obviously, Steve Donahue with this tag. And Steve is probably the one I've watched religiously since I started watching BookTube. And a lot of that has to do with this book collection, the range of how he reads, and his storytelling power. It's a very difficult thing to do. And to bring you into a story the way he does is, I just admire it. And then I hope I say her name right, because I've recently discovered her channel and I really, really like it. And her name is Elena, Mack. And I've really been enjoying watching her, and she does a lot of commenting, and she's a good booktuber. But the other day I looked down and the thumbnail is her doing this, right? Yeah. And I had to watch it, and I do watch her stuff. So I would recommend her strongly. And then list the last 5 non-BookTube videos you've watched. So today, because I haven't read anything this weekend, I have been glued to the Weather Channel. And on my phone it popped up, the southernmost point live webcam. Where this guy standing out, most of you who've been to Key West recognize the buoy-shaped thing. That's the southernmost point. And this intellectual giant standing out on the wall next to that, and he's trying to take a picture, and he just gets taken out by a wave. Good job, buddy. So that was pretty funny. I'll try to link it so you can enjoy the moment. Been doing a lot with my records and LPs and all that lately, so I watched Too Many Records, which is actually a good YouTube channel. It's fun. I watched a thing on the Samsung Galaxy 8. I'm an iPhone guy, but my wife wants this Galaxy 8, so I watched that. I watched a thing on, I can't remember how exactly to say it. Ernest Essen talked about cultural mining. Yeah, and I watched one of the things on that. Found it very interesting, so I'll link that below. And then another LP vinyl type thing is Record Wonderland. I'll try to link those below. So number 9, if you could live in any world with any characters, where would it be and who? I have to say, this week, you're sitting there. Now, I was in the Coast Guard for years, a long time ago, a very long time ago. But we still plotted our course on paper, on a chart. And we had a radio, and it was VHF. And then we had radar. No GPS, none of this sort of things. And I've been in hurricanes on a ship, and I've been in storms and motor lifeboats that would, before the technology. So I look now, and I'm watching something like the Weather Channel, predicting a hurricane out. We've known about this for a week. We see the models. We see how they adjust. I'm fine with the adjustment. I know things change. They don't want perfection. You may want perfection, but still, it's pretty amazing. You got guys standing, waiting for the eye wall. And they're showing you it hit. And then I can, with my sister, text her, are you okay? How's everything going? She's keeping everybody updated on Facebook. Where's the water coming? What is this? They're doing the rates. They're doing everything. The federal government, the state government, the local guys are all working together. And this isn't just here. This is just personal because this is what I'm interested in right now because it's my family. Village by village. I'm watching a video and saying, I've walked there. I've seen this place. I've stood there. I've eaten there. I've leaned on that tree. And I'm 1,800 miles away. And you're sitting there watching it, so I can't imagine a better time to live than this one. But think about it. 1940s, that storm's coming. You may not even know it's on its way. You certainly don't know much about it. 1930, 1920, 1850. Well, the water's acting a little weird. It's probably not a good sign. You got no idea. None. And now what they can do to me, what they can do is amazing. So when they tell me that the planet's getting warmer and why it's getting warmer, I believe them. Because I see what they're doing. And so I would live in no other time. Maybe in the future. We don't know what that holds, right? It's a big mystery, so we're not really choosing anything. Maybe a hopeful future. And that would be wonderful. But the only times you know are the present and the past. And I would take the present. I like looking at my cell phone and knowing that I can get a hold of my sister who's 1,800 miles away and make sure she's okay. In my lifetime, you could not do that. So it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. So for tags, I'd like to do, I'd like to tag Elena, Mack, Rodina. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. I'd like to tag Run Right Reads and Ernest Lee Heston. So, thank you, BookTube.